I've got news.
News.
I just hear water trickling in the bathroom from the toilet, refilling. I got another acceptance today. This one is actually a reprint. It's my story that I got in the spring issue of Siren's Call. I really like that story, but the problem is it's not print. And I wanted that in print. I wanted it on my fucking shelf.
Right.
So I found the good folks at Peasant Magazine. They're a fantasy magazine, which also publish the stories online for free too. Their whole thing is they just want people to read. They just want, hey, we publish stuff, we want them to read. But they specifically say, shop your work around, try to get paid for it first before you submit to us. Not saying that they're a last resort or anything. But I asked the editor before I even submitted, I was like, hey, do you take reprints? Very enthusiastically, he said yes. So I was like, all right, cool. I got something to send your way. And that was like 3-4 months ago, I think. But I got the notice today that I was accepted. They're going to send the contract over probably next week, even though I told them this went through an editing team, so it shouldn't need editing. He said if the editor has any notes, they'll still send it back just for that. But I shouldn't get any, I wouldn't think, since it was already edited once. But it will be out issue 3. Peasant Magazine issue 3.
Release date yet, or?
No, I have not heard. I think they just wait till they fill up.
Makes sense.
From what I remember, he tries to sell them as cheaply as possible, like the print version. So I think they're only $4 or $5.
No, that's not bad.
Like I think he just sells them at cost. He just wants to, just to have the stuff out there. I don't think he really cares about making the big dollar.
Doing God's work.
Yeah, so that's exciting because I just wanted that story in print. That was the only reason I got it, so I could hand it out to people.
Yep.
And since it's a cheap price, I'll buy 10 copies and everybody gets one for a story they might have already read.
Hey, like you said, it's cool to have it in print. And then, with it not being that much, it's easy for people who might have already read it in the Siren's Call to be like, oh, well, it's not that much. I'll still just get it because,
Yeah, I mean,
I like that Caleb James K fella.
You said Jalen multiple times.
Yeah.
Right? You trying to...
Well, I tried to do that as a joke, and then I got stuck.
In the loop. It was like my favorite video. One of my favorite videos of all time is the Diet Cock kid. He's like, oh, I'll have a crisp Diet Cock. I mean Diet Cock. And he just says it all the time. I was like, I like that. That's the stupid humor I enjoy. A Diet Cock. Yeah, so I'm excited. That's my 10th acceptance of the year so far.
Nice. You gotta get well, I'm gonna say double digits, but you gotta get it up to like a baker's dozen.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, when we did the New Year's thing, I think mine was only 5. Wasn't that what I was looking for? 5 acceptances?
I thought mine was like 5, which I'm doing terrible on. I thought yours was like a little bit higher because wasn't last year? Wasn't you up close to like?
Maybe I think mine was 10 acceptances and 5 public print.
Maybe that's what it was.
5 prints, but I'm already at 8 or 9 prints now.
Yeah.
With that might actually be 9 or 10. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Yeah, so I'm doing fucking good.
Doing A-okay, bud.
When I tally up my publication history for this year, do I count the No Sleep podcast as a publication?
I would say so.
I guess so.
Yeah, because it got put out this year.
Yeah, so I'll have to...
Even though that they got they got a hold of you last year, it got published this year.
Yeah, so if you count that, this year I've been published in Horoscope 4, Diabolic Press, PA Bard, Strange Day Zine, Mini Mag...
You're Inferno Nightmare.
Ethereal Nightmares, Readings from Curse Room 301, the No Sleep podcast. Now I'm going to be in Peasant Magazine. I'm going to be in Violent Advents. I keep saying adverts. Violent Advents, the Christmas anthology in December, and Beautiful Darkness 3. So that's 11.
There you go.
And I think I actually am missing something, but maybe one of the free ones online or something. But that's still 11 solid. But actually, I guess I can't count the Peasant because I don't know when that's coming out.
Fair.
I can't count that one for this year if it doesn't come out this year. But
hopefully.
Yeah, either way, I still am excited about... Oh, well, I can still count it as Siren's Call. Siren's Call, so still 11. At least 11. So that's... I went above and beyond. And also that's cool because now that hits my bucket list of doing a reprint.
Yeah.
Remember, I started adding... What do they call it on Kickstarter when you go to the next stuff?
Stretch goals.
Yeah, so my stretch goals was international publication, did that. Yep. Royalties did that. And now reprint. So I don't know what's my other goals now. What should I do?
It would have to be either like a novella, a full-blown novel, or a collection of short stories.
Yeah.
I think would be,
Well, I think I'm going to start. I mean, I talked about this, I think, last episode. My novella that I was working on a long time ago. I think I'm going to go back to that as my next project and try to pump that out. And I'm so excited about it being good that I'm wondering if I should really shop this around to, since it's a novella, that's like pretty much a book, like a lot of actual bigger publishers will go for that. So I'm like, maybe I should find start at the top, not the type of top, not Penguin, but like whatever top horror. I have to see what it falls under when I'm done with it, but see if I could get it published by one of like a top higher end horror publisher, like a traditional one or something, and then start whittling down after the rejections come in. But I think that would be cool if I can get like a good horror publication. I still haven't got like a mainstream literary magazine though.
But as the time goes on, how much is that?
I haven't submitted anything to any of this.
I was gonna say, is that even like a goal that you'd want to do?
That's not true. I've submitted to a bunch.
You just haven't heard anything.
Just only 2 stories though I've been sitting on that kind of fall into the category. One's that light bulb story. That's more of a satire maybe, or that falls in a weird funny genre. It's not comedy necessarily, but it's like a Kafka story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to sell.
Satirical or but like what they would say like Ronigan kind of is like.
Yeah, like there's what was it one I submitted to and I got a personalized rejection, McSweeney's. That's like the big one that does that kind of stuff. And then I got another one I've been shopping around that the not New Yorker, the Dublin. What's the Dublin? Not Dublinger. The Dublin Review maybe or whatever. The big one in Ireland they've rejected. A bunch of other fancy schmancy Missouri reviews and whatnot. That's what they always say. I just get it's no good, man. I got one that was like, it's really great. We don't want it though. It's like, thanks.
Yeah.
That's fucking nice. The one irritated me. They said it needed a distillation of focus.
So less focus?
More focus.
More focus.
It wasn't very clear. They sent me like 50 paragraphs on how great it was, but then said they can't accept it because it needs something distillation of focus. So I guess they wanted less backstory or more focus on just one thing. I don't know. It's like a literary folklore story, so Appalachian folklore story. So it's like kind of genre, but it doesn't read like genre. I think that was the problem. Anyway, we'll talk more about something when we come back.
And we know what it is.
Yeah, we have a big plan. Big idea. We can't be doing another DBS. We had 2 in a row, so.
That was a couple weeks ago.
This week's it was a DBS, and last week was a DBS.
I didn't know last week's ended up being a DBS. I thought we had a topic.
No, we did not. I don't think we did. I don't even remember what it was about now. We'll reconvene in a moment. You are listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me, as always, Spencer, the Intercourse Interloper Church, Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
It's a bad name.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't there? I thought you or me.
I burped. I was goggling a little bit.
Sick. Fucking sick.
Gross. I'm gross.
There's Intercourse, Pennsylvania. What's the other one that's real funny? Like Goo Boys.
Well, and isn't there a Blue Balls too or something?
I don't know. I think so. My house. Shut up, Spencer. You know what we're talking about today?
I have no idea, actually.
The greatest satire books of all time.
Ooh, nice.
Can you guess what number 1 is? It's a guy who loves fart letters.
Oh, seriously?
Yes. Number 1, Ulysses by James Joyce. Set in Dublin, the novel follows a day in the life of Leopold Bloom, an advertising salesman as he navigates the city. The narrative, heavily influenced by Homer's Odyssey, explores themes of identity, heroism, and the complexities of everyday life. It is renowned for its stream of consciousness style and complex structure, making it challenging but rewarding to read.
See, but I can't remember. Has that one you've tackled yet, or is that still on the bucket list?
That was the final one I was supposed to read, but I picked it up and put it down.
Okay.
Didn't even open it.
Well, just because, I just wouldn't think of, Oh, we've heard of of that story and it being able to be satirical.
Apparently, it's wildly funny.
If you can understand it.
Yeah, but apparently it is hilarious. And I think the satire comes from the fact that it's the Odyssey, but instead of being this giant, long, fucking years-long adventure, it all happens in one day. So it's the Odyssey distilled into one day of nonsense. This is a satire? Oh, no. We've gone astray already.
Already?
Number 2, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov.
Ooh. I haven't read it, but everything that I've heard and seen about that.
Also, there's an alternate title, which I did not know. The Confession of a White Widowed Male. So Lolita's more memorable.
Yeah.
The novel tells the story of Humbert Humbert. I always heard people say Humbert Humbert, but I think this is just dumb Americans. Is it Humbert? Like he's a Frenchie. I'm assuming.
He's a Frenchman.
Humbert Humbert, a man with a disturbing obsession for young girls, or nymphets, as he calls them. Yuck. Fucking yuck. His obsession leads him to engage in a manipulative and destructive relationship with this 12-year-old stepdaughter, Lolita. Her name's Lolita. Yuck. The narrative is a controversial exploration of manipulation, obsession, and unreliable narration, as Humbert attempts to justify his yucky actions and feelings throughout the story, which are also yucky.
A laugh a minute.
It's fucking hilarious. When he talks about that girl's body, I just am in stitches. It's very well written, but gross. How's that a satire? Them damn pedos, hilarious.
And isn't there a lot of killing and stuff in it too?
I don't know, probably not.
Just a lot of pedo stuff.
Should be killing Humbert
himself.
Fucking dickhead. Number 3, 1984 by George Orwell. Set in a dystopian future, the novel presents a society under the total control of a totalitarian regime, led by the omnipresent Big Brother. The protagonist, a low-ranking member of the party, begins to question the regime and falls in love with a woman, an act of rebellion in a world where independent thought, dissent, and love are prohibited. Spencer. The novel explores themes of surveillance, censorship, and the manipulation of truth.
That
was also considered the 8th greatest book of all time. Side note. Satire?
I was
that dystopian. This is the problem when we haven't read these books.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge. Big crack up, that one. 1984.
Because this again, I always think of Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
Because there's this ridiculous thing going on, and it's just fucking
To be fair though, Slaughterhouse-5, if you just read a synopsis, World War II, Dresden bombing,
true,
very grim, you wouldn't get the humor in that.
Well, it depends if they throw in the weird aliens in the synopsis or not.
Yeah, maybe Humbert though is just sitting there painting his nails, and he has a snafu, and maybe he's like a fucking stooge. He's trying to get this girl, and she keeps foiling his diddling every step of the way.
See, I wouldn't think, because isn't that, it would be, I would think, it still might be on the list, but because he did Animal Farm too, right?
Yeah.
See, I would think maybe that would be more sad, just because then with because everything's these animals, these farm animals and stuff like that.
I think that just falls into allegorical. Number 4, which is tied for my most favorite book of all time, and this is very funny, so I would say satire works. Mwah. Chef's kiss for this one. Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, also known as the ingenious gentleman Don Quixote of La Mancha. This classic novel follows the adventures of a man who, driven mad by reading too many chivalric romances, decides to become a knight-errant and roam the world righting wrongs under the name Don Quixote. Accompanied by his loyal squire, Sancho Panza, he battles windmills he believes to be giants and champions the virtuous lady Dulcinea, who is in reality a simple peasant girl. The book is a richly layered critique of the popular literature of Cervantes' time and a profound exploration of reality and illusion, madness and sanity. And that was ranked the 10th greatest book of all time.
I want to check it out, especially after you talking about it. But I think I'll have to get a Kindle version of it. I don't know if I can get that big, because it isn't
that big. It's 800, 900, 1,200 something.
I was gonna say, I thought it was closer to the 1,000 mark, but
it might be 1,200. I don't remember. Leave me alone. By the way, Ulysses was ranked the 3rd greatest book of all time. Lolita I don't know why I said it like that.
Mm.
Lolita. Lolita. I can't roll my R or my T. I don't think you're supposed to roll T's.
Lolita.
Lolita. Lolita. The 6th greatest book of all time for Lolita. Gotta be creepy. Well, I just remember the opening. All I've ever read of Lolita was the opening. He was like, Lolita. And I don't know, he said something about the name and the way it rolls off the tongue. Lolita. L-O-T. Like, it's just like gross.
Like, not now.
It makes you feel greasy when you read it. Number 5. I would not have guessed this one, but I have not read it. The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is also called a novel in 4 parts with epilogue. Or maybe that's just additional title, like added on.
Yeah.
This classic novel explores the complex, passionate, and troubled relationship between 4 brothers and their father in 19th century Russia. The narrative delves into the themes of faith, doubt, morality, and redemption, as each brother grapples with personal dilemmas and family conflicts. The story culminates in a dramatic trial following a murder, hilarious, which serves as a microcosm of the moral and philosophical struggles faced by each character and, by extension, humanity itself. And that's the 20th greatest book of all time. And it is a fucking side stitches galore. Them goofy brothers.
When they do the adaptation, they're going to have to get Kevin Hart.
You thought that maybe Dostoevsky's The Idiot would have been a better choice as a satire, I would think. Unless that's even glummer. I don't know. This one I can understand. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and... Oh, just The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
No.
They never do Tom Sawyer. So, number 6, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Also, Tom Sawyer's Comrade. I don't know if these little things are actual additional titles all the time, or if this is just information that's just slightly different colored underneath the title. I'm not sure. This is just Goodreads, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not anything. I'm not ripping anybody off here. The novel follows the journey of a young boy named Huckleberry Finn and a runaway slave named Jim.
Jim.
Just Jim. James, if you're feeling biblical. As they travel down the Mississippi River on a raft. Set in the American South before the Civil War, the story explores themes of friendship, freedom, and the hypocrisy of society. I can't do Southern. It's more like Prospector.
Yeah.
Yuck. Or Goofy. Through various adventures and encounters with a host of colorful characters, Huck grapples with his personal values, often clashing with the societal norm of the time. This was rated the 31st greatest book of all time. This was rated in the top 10 of Caleb's. Maybe top 5. It's hard to order these things.
Right.
But this is one you need to read. The problem is, which is why I delayed in reading it so long, is you want to read Tom Sawyer first.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the first book. But it is great. Tom Sawyer, less racist, not more funny, but it's fun. But
I have them both. I got them one time when we were at Barnes & Noble.
How about those would be your winter reads?
Maybe.
Late November, December reads.
We'll see.
They're easy reads.
They probably are.
It makes you say some racist words in your head a lot, which isn't ideal. Number 7, The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. I don't know why, but I always think this is fake.
What, the novel? Or
No, just Thomas Mann.
Or just like his name or him?
Yeah, I just think it's a fake guy.
No, is it one N or 2 N's? Because sometimes
2 N's.
Okay, because I've seen people with Mann as the last name, and it's mostly...
Man. In this novel, the protagonist, a young ordinary man, visits his cousin at a tuberculosis sanitarium in the Swiss Alps. Sanatorium, not sanitarium. That O and A make a difference.
Yeah.
Sanatorium, health. Sanitarium, mental problems.
Mental health.
So he visits his cousin at a tuberculosis sanatorium in the Swiss Alps, which they sent people because they thought for some reason... Why am I low?
The cold would help?
Yeah, they used to send people with fucking chronic lung problems to the mountains because they thought the cold air would help in the freshness, and that's how they cured things back then. Go outside.
And freeze it.
Freeze it off. Freeze your lungs off. So, in the Swiss Alps, intending to stay for only a few weeks, he ends up remaining there for 7 years, as you do, becoming a patient himself, of course. The book explores his experiences and relationships with other patients and staff, delving into philosophical discussions on lifetime and the nature of disease. It also provides a vivid portrayal of the European society and intellectual life on the eve of World War I, and this was the 32nd greatest book of all time. I will say, if it was a sanitarium, I could get the satire maybe coming through. Sanatorium, this just sounds, again, kind of sad.
Yeah.
I guess satire can fall into... this would be one case I wish they had an introduction to explain it better. I feel like we always just assume funny or snide or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess it could be, just terrible things, but showing them in a unique way.
Right.
So it's like, hey, this is a satire on death. It's kind of funny because it's so morose.
Yeah.
Something I can think of.
So you kind of laugh to kind of get through it. If not, you're not gonna finish it.
Speaking of laughing, number 8, there's few books funnier than Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. The book is a satirical critique on military bureaucracy and the illogical nature of war set during World War II. The story follows a U.S. Army Air Force's B-25 bombardier stationed in Italy who is trying to maintain his sanity while fulfilling his service requirements so that he can go home. The novel explores the absurdity of war and the military life through the experiences of the protagonist who discovers that a bureaucratic rule, the Catch-22, makes it impossible for him to escape his dangerous situation. As Kurt Vonnegut brought up earlier, makes us realize, yes, war can be hilarious.
Yeah.
Even though it's not at all.
Shouldn't be, but...
Gallows humor. Did I say that was the 34th greatest book of all time? Because it is.
Yeah.
Who ranks these books?
Goodreads?
Old white guys?
Probably.
Number 9, The Master and the Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Bulgakov.
Bulgakov?
Kov.
Oh.
Bulgakov. Mikhail Bulgakov. This novel is a complex narrative that weaves together 3 distinct yet intertwined stories. The first story is set in 1930s Moscow and follows the devil and his entourage as they wreak havoc on the city's literary elite. All right, we can't keep going reading all these. 40th greatest book. 40th. Number 40th. 0. Man, them fucking classic Russians were just full of hilarity.
Oh, the beats and cold weather.
All right, now they got to be fucking yanking my chain here. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Number 10 on the greatest satire books ever written. Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie.
Yeah.
The novel tells the story of Salim Sinai, who was born at the exact moment when India gained its independence. That was a funny moment.
Yeah.
It was really a side stitch, too. As a result, he shares a mystical connection with other children born at the same time, all of whom possess unique magical abilities. As Salim grows up, his life mirrors the political and cultural changes happening in his country, from the partition of India and Pakistan to the Bangladesh War of Independence. The story is a blend of historical fiction and magical realism, exploring themes of identity, fate, and the power of storytelling. 42nd greatest book of all time.
See, I didn't know that had like magical stuff in it.
Yeah, we need to read some Rushdie. Apparently, he is excellent.
But isn't it like difficult?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's difficult. But he got shot in the eye for his art. Stabbed in the eye.
Yeah.
That was like a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's
And he's like one of the only guys that has a hit on for the whole Middle East has a hit on him.
Yeah, I never because just because of something he said in one of his books or like how he
the Satanic Bibles or verses or whatever that book was called. I think that was it. Number 11, Journey to the End of the Night by Luis Fernandez Celine. I'm gonna go ahead and skip through these now.
I'd say, do we think that maybe just this list in general is sectorial? Like, we're just pulling it. This isn't real.
Just a lot of war and peace. Number 12, The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman by Lawrence Stern. By the way, if you're curious, all these books are now above 50 in the greatest book discussion, so I don't need to keep mentioning them. 13, Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. That one I can understand.
I could see that, yeah.
Also known as Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World.
Oh.
Bad title.
Yeah.
If that's a title. I'm not sure. Number 14, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I could see that. Very satirical. The 15, Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, also known as The Children's Crusade, a duty dance with death. Again, too long.
Yeah.
Slaughterhouse-Five is a great name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Glad he went with that. 62nd greatest book of all time. 16, Candide by Voltaire. Candide, also known as Optimism. It's a satirical novel that follows the adventures of a young man who is living a sheltered life in an Edenic paradise and being indoctrinated with Leibnizian optimism. I don't know what any of these words are. I don't want to read this anymore. 17, Animal Farm by George Orwell. There you go. You're right. 18, Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov or Nabokov. I always listen to podcasts where they bring them up and they always spend 10 minutes arguing Nabokov, Nabokov. It's like, who cares?
I always heard of the first one.
Nabokov.
Yeah, that's what I thought I've
But
heard.
apparently he pronounced it Nabokov or Nobokov. Robocop.
Robocop.
Number 19, The Tin Drum by Gunter Grass.
Gunters are known for their...
Yeah, that one's about Nazi Germany, so it's definitely got to be hilarious. 20.
What was that fucking TV show?
MASH?
No, where was it?
That's Korean War.
No, it was in a concentration camp. Or like
Cheers?
But like where they held like the war, like, you know, the war criminal, like the American soldiers.
Is it funny?
It's supposed to be funny, yeah.
Is it a new show or?
No, it's an old show. But like in like the 70s or 60s when you could do a show like that.
Cheers.
No.
They had the fat guy. Kelsey Grammer was in it.
The one guy got in trouble because he was like really into porn back in the day.
Oh, they got beat to death?
Maybe.
What the fuck was his name? I forget now.
I just remember Kelsey Grammer played him in a movie about him.
See, I brought it around.
no,
I'm always on the fringes.
I mean, not Kelsey Grammer, but fuck it. Let's just move on.
Well, now I can't remember what that guy's name was. I just saw it. Never mind. You know what? 20, Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol. 21, The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I thought that would be higher. 22, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. 23, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. I always wanted to read that, but my problem with Beckett is I always want to read Beckett, but then I remember he's like a playwright or something.
Yeah.
For some reason, but something about playwrights just, other than Shakespeare, it just turns me off. I don't know why. I'm not into it. 24, Vanity Fair by William Makepeace, Thackeray, who cares? 25, A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. Another good book. 26, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now I feel like we're just going into comedy more than satire.
Well, I was gonna ask you that before we got off if you thought if that fell in that, or if it was just like a funny series, if it was actually like satire, since you've read some of it.
I don't think The Hitchhikers could be considered satire when it's supposed to be a comedy.
Okay.
I feel
because
like
there's difference.
Yeah. 27, Tom Jones by Henry Fielding. It's not unusual to be... Is that Tom Jones, or am I thinking of... It's a lot of old white guys in the music industry. That's got to be Tom Jones, right? What's new, pussycat? Whoa! 28, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Hogan's
Nest.
Heroes.
That's what I was talking... Yeah. Crane. Bob Crane. Beat in the head doing the pornos.
Maybe, yeah.
Look at the cast of Hogan's Heroes. Who's the first guy that comes up?
Yeah, Bob Crane.
All right, then. Jesus. Fucking Bob Crane. You're over there 20 minutes looking that up.
Yeah, it was. Well, I was just trying to talk. Like, I was trying to be,
28, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey.
Oh, that's one we got to read soon.
It's on my fucking shelf. 29, The Good Soldier by... What's that word? The Good Soldier Svech by Jaroslav Hazek. Jaroslav Hazek. H-A-squiggly-S-E-K.
When you're throwing the squigglies in there, you never know what to do.
He's Czechoslovakian. I don't know if he is, but it's about Czech. I don't care. 30, Confessions of Zeno by Italio Sveno. You know, it'd be a good one on a winter's night, A Traveler by Italio Calvino. I don't know if that's satire, but it's fucking weird.
Oh, yeah? Say, how long is this list?
9,000.
Oh.
31, Portney's Complaint by Philip Roth. What time are we at? 30 minutes? I think I can cut it short. 32, White Teeth by Zadie Smith. Is there any good ones on? No, everything else is garbage.
Garbage.
Hot garbage. Let me look up the definition of satire for you. Satire, having to do with members or boners.
Oh, nice. Satiring right now.
The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. Not tropical. Them fucking, down in Belize, it gets mighty hot. I don't know where Belize is at. I don't even know if that's the actual place. I'm drunk on mineral water.
You are.
So,
fancy waters.
What do you think about satire? You want to write one?
It is kind of a kind of style that I do want to try to tell, like a story. I've tried I think there's been moments where I've tried, but I think it's just been more towards the just comical rather than satirical. Like, I don't know, like, not smart enough yet to do it.
Not smart enough?
Not smart enough. When just like, look at a poo on the ground, ain't that funny?
All right. Well, you know what I'm going to do for you?
What are you going to do for me?
Top 25 best satire movies. I'm just going to do the titles.
Okay.
That way you might have some way to judge here, some context or something. I'm not using the correct word. Correct. Jerem. Is that what you call me? Jerem?
Something like that.
Get stuck on it. 25. Triangle of Sadness came out in 2022, directed by Ruben Ostlund. I don't know who that is. 24. Never heard of this one. South Park. Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Trey Parker, 1999. Satire? Maybe a satire on musicals.
Maybe. I mean, you could say South Park in general is satire.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tim Popo, 1985, directed by Giulio Tommy. Never heard of it.
No.
It's going to be one of these things. They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter. I guess it's a satire because they had a 15-minute fight scene for no reason. Put on the glasses. I can see it as a satire because it's like this dystopian future kind of thing, but it's very over-the-top, masculine. You know, Roddy Piper's punching heads, and, you know, he's here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum.
Right.
Yeah. Number 21, Wild Tales 2014 by Damien Zifron. Never heard of it. 20, Playtime 1967 by Jacques Tati. This is worse than I'm gonna go to the top 10 list because that's I don't know most things in the world anymore. I'm kind of a dumb. Okay, here's you know what would be a good one, maybe Tropic Thunder. Think that would be it?
Tropic Thunder? I would think so because it's kind of making fun of the whole Hollywood, you know,
ensemble action. Yeah. Number 10, Catch 22. That was on the book list. Number 9, In the Loop. This gives less information than the other one did. 8, The Mouse That Roared. The title's very satirical, I think. 7, Don't Look Up, with a very me-looking DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the glasses.
Right.
Fat face, goatee, hair parted to the side. Oh, man. Sad. I can tell people I look like Leo DiCaprio. I just don't tell them which version. Number 6, Amos and Andrew. That just sounds fake. Is that Nicolas Cage and Samuel L. Jackson? Yes, it is. They did a buddy cop movie together. Fucking never. Why did we not see that? It's a pair I want to see. The Life of Brian. That was a good one. The Death of Stalin. That's probably hilarious. Tropic Thunder. Okay, that's number 3. Number 2, Galaxy Quest. Is that Tim Allen? Tim Allen makes me go.
That's wow.
So what was the dumb noise I always make?
He made a couple.
I like if you folks have the time, go on YouTube and look up the Doom Tim Allen mod, and it's just like going through the game Doom, but everything just goes like the guns, the walls. We're gonna do that when we get off air. Just, it's fucking great. Actually, I'm gonna bring that up on here. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb by Stanley Kubrick is number 1. Tim Allen, Doom. Like it's so bad. Oh god. Here's a 16-second version. It's not as bad. And everything on it's Tim Allen. That one's too oversaturated. I need one that's not oversaturated. These are just everything's Tim Allen. I want the
Made so much money off of that.
It's so stupid.
God, why's there gonna be 2 ads?
I hate the double ad. I hate Jerry Seinfeld. I hate the double ad. Why does he not have ad? You only have 1 ad. Why do you need 2 ads? You think you're in the clear after the 1 ad and then another ad pops up. What's the deal with that?
If you watch the video more than 5 minutes, you get another ad.
Take a break, go wash your hands, come back. Oh no, there's another ad. Fucking hate it. Look at me, fucking Tim Allen.
There's so many. They're all over the place.
It's like making music.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna need this for the next time you try to hit a PR.
Oh my god. Yeah, if you folks want to watch all 5 minutes and 12 seconds of that, it's just I typed in Tim Allen Doom on YouTube and it's the first video. The channel is called Tyler. He loves Tim Allen. What's the deal with Tim Allen? He thinks he's funny. All he does is go, makes a dumb noise. All right, folks. Well, that's an episode.
Yeah.
In the books. I just want to do that off. Imagine if this is fucking orgasm sound.
You think that's what he? Every time he got done taking he got done doing a line in coke, he's just like.
If you want to follow Spencer, he is the Intercourse Interloper Church. He's just interloping in Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, don't be weird about it.
Yeah. If you want to check out us on the internet at DPW Podcasts on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can follow me at calebjamesk.com. I've been posting my publishing history. Not much else. I need to do more things. I've had a discussion either with you or somebody else about putting my failed Christmas story I wrote, horror story, just on my website because it's like pretty much completed.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that as well as probably. Actually, I think I was gonna do that as like a promo for the because like most of it's good.
Yeah.
It's not the ending kind of craps out.
Well, then too, if you're gonna put it on the website, you could kind of
do it as like, hey, if you want to read the full good stories in the collection, you can pick it up. But if you just want the shit story, here you go. That's how I burp now. Anyway, we thank you for listening. We'll check you out next week.